Welcome. The title of this video is the July 15 Mars-Uranus conjunction in Algol. Oh, I am making this video at exactly 4:44 p.m. on the 7th of the 7th, 2024. This is a prediction for the most intense transit of the year. Now, most of you have, of course, since you are alive, you have been through the Chiron Sun conjunction, the solar eclipse on April 8, 2024. But this coming one, the July 15 aspect between Mars, Uranus and Algol, is going to be the second most intense transit of this year, because I'm going to explain why. So if you're new to this channel, my name is George Verbena. I'm an astrologer. I am an expert on the asteroids and fixed stars. So if you really want to get some good information about what this trend is going to be about, stick with me, because most people online don't really have a clue about any of these fixed stars or asteroids. They're talking out of their ass. And if you don't believe me, just go to the channel, listen to them, especially the pop astrologers, and get bored and realize that you're hardly knowing anything after you are done with them, because they do not have the open mind to do their own research. Most astrologers, unfortunately, just like in any other profession in which you are scientific or pseudoscientific, like the psychotherapeutic community, they're just following the status quo, just regurgitating what everybody else is saying. I am bored of it, and if you are too, welcome. You are in the right place, because I do not regurgitate. I'm going to tell you what my opinion is on this particular conjunction. So first of all, you have to explain what each aspect is individually, and then what happens when you bring it together. First of all, of course, we talk about the most important aspect, Algol, which sits at 26 degrees of Taurus as a fixed star. Check out in which house 26 degrees of Taurus is in your chart to understand in what area of life that's going to hit you. And I'm really saying it's going to hit you because it is going to hit you. It's a catapult, an explosion of some kind. And as I'm going to explain throughout this video, you are going to understand why that is. So first of all, Algol is snake consciousness. Represents Lilith, represents of course, represents everything that my work is about shadows, which go against the hive mind, non-conformity, doing your own thing, not being boring, being unpredictable, not knowing what's gonna happen next, being authentic while going against the grain, hunted by pitchforks, smear campaigned, gossiped, isolated, raped, tortured, imprisoned, because you're doing something that defies the status quo, defies the system. That is Algol. Because Algol is the head of the Gorgon, Medusa. Medusa is about protection against evil, because for thousands of years we have created Algol talismans. If you didn't know it already, the most common Algol talisman that exists is this tiny little eye in blue and white color, sometimes black. You know this little eye that you wear as a bracelet, as a necklace, as a kind of an accessory? That is an Algol talisman, believe it or not. Another proof that it's an Algol talisman is the fact that the country that produces and sells most of these evil eye accessories is Turkey. Turkey, if you look online, its birth chart is conjunction Algol. Of course. Because, you know, Algol is kind of an identity that defies its origin. You know, the Turkish people, they used to be nomads. Turkey is a sacked country, doesn't actually exist. It's actually Greece. But the Turkish people live there and they claimed it as their territory. And now you see all the patriotism around that country, which is funny, Because how can you be patriotic about something that doesn't exist? It's a fiction. However, what's important is the kind of fierceness, the passion in which that identity is being enforced. And that's what you see with Algol. Passion that can get you into trouble. This is why often Turkish people all throughout the world, in whatever country they go, they often develop ghettos. They often stick to themselves and they refuse to assimilate into the culture that they participate in. Sounds familiar? All of that is Algol, refusing to be assimilated. Like the Borg cube, you will be assimilated, but actually you're not assimilating. You're not. So you make a matrix of your own, as you defy the matrix that's already established. The system is the enemy, where Algol is concerned. So, now that we know this about Algol, we also know it's about the freeze response. Psychologically, because it hijacks a part of your brain that's responsible for trauma. After you've been tortured, raped, abused, your identity was stripped away, and you are not allowed to be yourself. Which creates a tremendous amount of anger, rage. So you will emphasize being yourself more strongly, which is exactly what the Turkish people, of course, do, as they refuse to assimilate. So there will be a situation in which you have to separate yourself on July 15 from something that is trying to assimilate you, trying to enmesh you, trying to control you, and you say, I don't think so. I'm going to go my own way, make my own decisions, whether it's for better or worse. Because of course many times it is actually for worse, which is why it's a malefic star. But there can be good examples of this, which is of course more words, which is of course people who managed to do something that is original, that is unique, that allows them to give you a different perspective, that defies the hive mind. So what happens on that Algol transit is that Mars and Uranus will be conjunction that Algol, and Mars, as I'm going to explain next, is about separation conflicts. Separation means I say something which separates me from you. My identity is here, your identity is there, we're not cooperating, we are fighting, we are opposed. Mars defends you, protects you, to keep what doesn't belong to you outside of you. It reinforces your identity. It presents the ability to make boundaries, to say no, actively, physically. So, many people may have breakups during the Algol transit. Many people could choose to quit a job, create a relationship, create an investment into something, start something new, or, because it's in Taurus, make a compulsive purchase. Because Mars is also about impulsivity. Yeah, being impulsive, it's just a Mars thing. Therefore, be careful. If you are aroused, if you are triggered, if you are angered on July 15, until the full moon on July 21, because the transit is going to last for at least 3 days, mind yourself. Because there's going to be tempers. Being aroused, somebody could try to have an argument with you, to have some kind of a disagreement. Again, separation conflict. Okay? So then the next thing is Uranus. And Uranus is about detachment. It's about separation also, but from the earth, from the ground that you stand on. Right? Uranus detaches itself from Gaia to become the sky. So you have something that you're grounded in, and it's going to be taken away, like the carpet is being taken from under your feet. But if you can choose to stay grounded and stand firm, the trend is not really going to affect you so negatively. You see, it's a very fixed energy. And Uranus is really in its detriment in Taurus. Because Uranus is exalted in Scorpio. It's in its opposite sign of where it wants to be in. It doesn't like the earth. Taurus is the earth. So money, physical health, your body, your diet, your pleasure, your love life, the glue that binds you, whatever you're attached to, is going to feel very unstable around that time, and you're going to be challenged somehow. And once that challenge happens, it's going to force you to make a decision whether you want to stay or you go, because you may be forced to make a decision that's more eccentric, maybe that goes against the grain, against the established system. Therefore, we may see reforms during this time. We may see new rules being established, old rules being taken away. So you're changing the structure in your life. You're changing your diet, perhaps. You're changing your relationships, your life. The rules you have for yourself are not going to make sense very much on July 15. And of course, you will notice it at least 5 days before and 5 days after, how you are suddenly thinking about, maybe I shouldn't be so rigid. Maybe I shouldn't control this. Maybe I shouldn't have those expectations or those demands. Maybe I should be more loose, more open. And this allows you to go into uncharted territory, to learn something new about yourself, to be more connected to a detached light reality. But this reality can feel very unstable. So be careful. A lot of people can have compulsive purchases, compulsive decisions that are defying safety, that are not really safe. So for example, if somebody starts a relationship or a job at this time, the commitment will be tested. And you'll be asked to maybe compromise yourself or to let go of an old belief that you think you have to enforce. Like, you think, I have to do this. I have to stick to this diet. I have to stick to this lifestyle. I have to stick to what I know. Uranus doesn't like that. Taurus likes that. And in Algol with Mars combined, you are going to be tempted to put an end to this. So you're destroying the established structure. This is a particular trend that is very interesting. Actually, some astrologers have been talking about this for months. I remember 3 months ago at the beginning of 2024, it's already been talked about by some astrologers. They said, oh, maybe there's going to be earthquakes because if you are a boring, regurgitating, annoying me, astrologer, that is only a hive mind regurgitating machine, you will talk about something as boring and predictable and ridiculous as earthquakes or nuclear bombs. As if that's all that Uranus is about. Are you kidding me? This is some kind of a joke. When I read the comments online, the posts people make, the complete nonsense, the perverted nonsense that people talk about. Like, really? How boring and uncreative can you be to put your Uranus in this box, which of course is going to break for you because Uranus doesn't like boxes, that you think you could predict what's going to happen as some kind of an upheaval and everything's going to be destroyed, there's going to be terrorist attacks. All of it is possible, don't get me wrong. But to focus there just shows a laziness of the brain that you're not really thinking at all. So let me think for you, since that is my job, right? That's what I'm being paid for, to think for people. Because unfortunately, most astrologers are not thinking at all for themselves or for their clients who watch them. But they still get hundreds of thousands of views because chances are the majority of people watching them don't have a brain either. And if you think this is offensive or triggering, lighten up, get some humor into your system, because this is fun. To say the truth as I see it, because to be honest with you, It's just the truth. People don't think, so what to do? It's just how it is. Thinking is difficult, right? Thinking takes energy. So let me do it for you. Uranus shows you where something is taking away your groundedness and you're just trying things out. You're in uncharted territory. So, for example, people could file a divorce at this time. People could think, I don't need this financially, and let it go. I don't need this physically. I don't need the security, the safety. People could leave their home or lose their home. People could move. And of course, I've heard many people moving at the beginning of this Cancer season. Because again, it is Cancer season, right? During which this transit is happening. And also, if you have anything in 24 until 29 degrees of a fixed sign, Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, or Scorpio, you will feel this transit quite strongly. Because something that you are holding on to is going to be taken away. And Taurus represents the fruits of the earth, what you eat, what you consume, your bank account, your money, your food, your shelter, your home, domestic life, your family, personal property, but also your self-esteem, your values. What do you value in a relationship? What do you value in your job? What do you need? And what do you have to stand the ground on where you are refusing to compromise? So this is why it's a kind of like making new rules for your life on how to live. But Algol represents evil. How evil is trying to control you. Doesn't have anything to do with earthquakes. Get that shit out of your head. Whatever astrologer is regurgitating that is just a lazy thinker. Doesn't have anything to do with earthquakes. I don't give a shit if earthquakes happen on that date. That's not what this aspect is about. This aspect is about defining reality. What is real? What is me? What is not me? Where do I belong? Because Uranus shows you what doesn't belong to you, what isn't compatible with you. But at the same time, it shows you where you are free to choose and to reap the consequences of that choice. So, for example, this is why we are associating technology with this transit. And Algol could show difficulties or problems with technologies. It's more likely to get an internet blackout or an electricity breakdown on that transit than it is to get an earthquake. But I never heard anybody mention this, even though it's obvious. It doesn't require more than 30 seconds of thinking to figure it out. Also, I've had actually some internet issues lately. I've been thinking, there's not really any transit happening that could explain this, so why is it happening? Also, it could explain communication problems, communication difficulties, because Uranus is the upper octave of Mercury. Therefore, it represents sudden or unpredictable or unexpected messages. Some message could surprise you, and that message could very well come from an enemy, or somebody who takes the stance of an enemy, who's trying to look for a fight, or somebody you had a fight with in the past, because it's Mars. Legal battles is also a theme for this transit. To simply enforce what you want and defy the rules while you're doing it. It's also a transit for thieves, stealing, destroying your shop, or destroying what you have. Losing something, like a car breaking down, an accident with your car. So be careful about traveling at that time, because things will go wrong, believe me. Not for you, perhaps, but for people around you. It could be traffic blockages at the time, which sounds very boring. I don't even care about talking about that, but it's true. What's also true is that people could literally, and in the wheelchair, could develop strange diseases, strange conditions of the mind, of the body. Uranus rules the vagus nerve, the nervous system. Traumatic experiences going to happen at that date. Violence, riots, family disputes especially. And perhaps something happens that's just, it shocks you. It leaves you speechless, and you have to defend yourself. You have to protect what you have, your assets, your home. You have to fight for it. It could be something like that for some people. Doesn't have to be anybody, but it could be somebody that you know. It could also be that maybe somebody gets sick or somebody dies. Suicide. This is extremely likely during this transit. So some people could be depressed. Some people could develop some kind of a mental illness or a mental health condition at this time, or just be sick. Something will happen that makes a lot of people scared. A lot of people frozen, unable to make a decision, but forced to make one anyways, because Mars is not going to allow you to wait. You will feel like you can't wait. You have to decide now, during that transit. Whatever it is. That is why I heard somebody say, well, it's about compulsive spending. And that is why certain companies are making sales during July 15. Because it's the most likely time to sell something. People could take drugs. Uranus actually rules drug addictions for many people. Because Uranus detaches you from the body. Uranus is about doing things that are defying the law, breaking the law, breaking a rule, right? That's the whole point of that aspect. And Algol is about something that could hurt you or hurt somebody else. But Algol represents narcissistic problems. Problems with trauma. Problems with where people do evil, do bad things. So if you know anybody who's evil in your life, whether it's a partner, family member, a friend, you could hear from them at that time. You know, like people calling the police on each other over a dispute, people trying to blackmail someone, people trying to come after you. If somebody is stealing at that time, they're probably going to get caught. The police and the hospitals, they're going to have their work cut out for them during that transit. That is one thing for sure. So, all of this sounds pretty negative, obviously. And some people, because they're in La La Land and they haven't gotten the message yet that this reality isn't about love and light and is not supposed to be always good. There are factual things in this reality that are not good, and Algol represents things that are not good. It's just how it is. You don't like it, maybe go to some pop astrologer who will give you some Kool-Aid. I don't know. I don't give a shit. But me personally, I'm still, also looking for the positive. Algol represents psychic phenomena. Learning something new about yourself, awakening, enlightenment. Because of course it represents the snake, right? Represents Lilith, because it's the Lilith star. Lilith is about unlocking, de-armoring, breaking free from oppression, leaving the Garden of Eden behind to finally do that thing that you want to do. Mars conjunction Algol. Where people shame you, people blame you. You're not allowed to do that. No, you can't do that. But you say you do it anyways. And at this transit, you have to. Yeah, don't be shy. Don't be rigid. You don't want to be rigid on doing the transit. If you have a decision to make, if somebody's triggering you to do something, do what you want. And this transit will help you to get it done. Because Uranus is going to really blow things up with Mars. Mars' Algol problem is, I can't do it. I can't confront them. I can't tell them what I think. I can't cause this conflict. This conflict is going to hurt me. which is a trauma response. Remember, Algol represents the freeze response. If you're frozen, you're scared of doing that thing, whatever it is, whether it's a fight with a partner, quitting a job, buying something that you want, eating something you want, changing the diet, changing the structure. If you're scared, this is the last time to be scared. Don't be scared, because that's a trauma shadow aspect of Algol, which of course nobody will tell you, because nobody knows anything. As you go online and you listen to those other astrologers, they don't know shit. So let me tell you the simple fact, which is very universal, this is just basic astrology, which nobody tells you, by the way, except me, of course, that every aspect in astrology has a shadow side, shadow expression, and a healed expression. And the shadow expression of Algol is to do nothing. Let me repeat this. The shadow of Algol is to do nothing. So if your plan for July 15 is to do nothing, you are in the shadow. Don't fall for it. Because guess what? The hive mind will tell you exactly that. Yes, if you listen to those pop astrologers, they will tell you to sit on your ass, stay at home, don't do anything, don't go out, just sleep, be in a coma, be in the freeze response. But Algol, Medusa, as she looks into a mirror image and she's frozen and when you are frozen, you're not there. Your identity is separated from you. You don't want that. This is the time to enforce your identity, to do what you want, to get out, blow it up, destroy it. Like in the Lord of the Rings, destroy it, Isildur, destroy the ring. No. And what happens if you don't destroy the ring? The ring represents Saturn, represents the control system, represents rigidity, structure, rules. But you should do this. It gives me power, this ring. So what happens? Isildur gets killed for his greed. Yeah, Taurus' shadow is greed, of course. And that whole story of Lord of the Rings happens and lots of people die. Bad things happen when we refuse to let things go. Letting things go is not about sitting on your ass and being a Buddhist. Yeah, it's not about being a monk and meditating all day, thinking you're so enlightened. Because you don't react, I don't react. Oh, the extended can't control me. Nothing can control me, so I will do nothing. So you're a robot. And you are a glorified robot if you are in the shadow of Algol. A Borg drone, the Borg cube. If you don't know what the Borg are, look it up. So we don't want to be a Borg drone, okay? We don't want to be going along with a consensus. We don't want to follow other people's rules. We don't follow their advice. Yeah. You don't follow my advice either. You shouldn't. I don't have any advice. Except follow your instincts. Lilith is the call of the wild. Do what's wild. Do what's wrong. See what happens. Don't like it? Be afraid of it? Welcome to the shadow realm. Fear, paranoia, just being frozen, petrified. That is the Medusa problem. And where is the fear coming from? From shame and guilt complexes, self-esteem issues. I'm a monster, I'm a bad person, if I do this, I can't do this. So I will stick around for another loop, another karmic relationship, another karmic cycle to be repeated. Because I refuse to take action. Because I decide to be a Buddhist. Don't be a Buddhist. Okay? Take action. Mars will help you. Mars is a malefic. Why? because it creates conflicts. And who wants conflicts? Certainly not your abuser who's trying to sedate you, to petrify you, to enslave you, to trap you, to isolate you, so you be the Buddhist. That's the whole thing of this hell realm. Welcome to planet Earth. On Earth, people want you to not be. Algol is about not being allowed to be yourself. Mars is your desire. What desire are you not allowing yourself to pursue? It will be tested. Oh no, I should be disciplined. The Buddhist gets the enlightenment. No, he doesn't. Those who follow the spark, the fire, they get enlightened. Because what enlightens? Fire. Not freeze response. Not Earth. Not Saturn. No. But that is why the planet of enlightenment, Uranus, is afflicted in Algol, in its detriment sign. So it will be difficult to make an enlightened choice now. Very difficult. You may feel like you can't do it. You may feel like you lack the courage. But fear not, because I'm here to help you, to tell you that courage is all it's about. Okay, that's all you need. To turn Medusa, a gorgon, a beast, an exile, a slave, a victim, into Pegasus. Right? That's what happens in mythology. When her head gets cut off, she turns into Pegasus. And then she helps the hero to achieve his goal, to defeat the monsters. Without, because the monster within has been slain. What is your monster within? What has been holding you back? What has been trapping you, telling you you can't do it, you're not allowed? This is the time to break free. So, if that's the positive you're looking for, that's exactly it. And of course, as you've been listening to this video, you must have realized by now that what I told you at the beginning is true. The no other astrologer except moi is telling you all of these things, which is very simple, not difficult to understand this fixed star. But welcome to planet Earth, in which everybody is regurgitating, not thinking, not researching. Because it took me some time to figure out what Algol actually represents. As you can see online, it's a desert out there. Yeah, it's just, don't even want to talk about how bad it is. Yeah, thousands of years we've known this fixed star, and there's no information that is useful. Oh, it's not beheading. I am regurgitating. Did you hear me even mention beheading even once in this video? No, you didn't. Because I'm not the pop astrologer. So don't be consenting to the hive mind. Think for yourself. Listen to your heart. Look within. What do you really want? What do you really need from your partner, from your career, from your life? What do you value? What is truly important to you that you are not allowed to get? This is all the trend is about. So don't be afraid of this transit. This is a transit of enlightenment, of unlocking, of de-armoring, of healing. A holy transit, if you want to call it that. It's very good. So I'm actually looking forward to this. And if you want to know more, check out my profile, search Algol. I talk about Algol in many articles because there's been many Algol transits in the past year. As Jupiter was going for Algol, especially in the beginning of last month, before it went into Gemini. So, if you are interested in more videos like this, leave a like and subscribe. If you like this video and you're interested in a personal reading with me, where you get information that is suitable for you, that addresses you and your problem specifically, to break it down in simple terms, what's really going on, what's really important about you, your destiny, your life, your relationships, your finances, your health, everything that your chart wants to express in its most evolved, and everything that's in the shadow. That's what I'm about. So if you're interested in a personal reading, you will know in which I'm not going to be destroying you, like for the commenters say that they were scared of me. Like, really? You're scared of knowledge? Don't be scared of me. I'm going to be nice to you if you are interested in a reading with me. Check out the description down below. Check out my photo album page on my services section on my channel. And with that being said, thanks so much for watching and see you in the next video. Bye bye.